Whenever my mom goes out to a Chinese restaurant with her friends, there's an unwritten rule everyone follows. She's going to be the one ordering. And no one questions it because she's the only one born and raised in China. But once, my mom's friend Dave asked if they could get just one order of sweet and sour chicken. Just one. He knew it wasn't technically real Chinese food, but he enjoyed it. So my mom reluctantly added one order of sweet and sour to the order. But dishes like sweet and sour often get a bad rep for being inauthentic and thus less good. But what makes these dishes inauthentic? Is it because they're not traditional? Who does it have to be authentic to in the first place? Let's talk about another classic American Chinese dish that's a little bit like sweet and sour: orange chicken. Far from traditional, it's the brainchild of Panda Express's chef, Andy Cao, and he drew inspiration from the American classic of fried chicken and also more traditional Chinese flavors. So to me, orange chicken is authentic to the Chinese American identity. It speaks to the experiences of immigrants coming to America and adapting their techniques and flavors to the taste buds here. It's this complex journey of assimilation and acculturation and also resistance that I think is so powerful. These fusion foods are often the product of necessity and survival. It's a resourcefulness resulting from an unaccepting customer or a lack of access to certain foods or certain ingredients. Let's talk about chop suey. So in the 19th century, a bunch of Chinese immigrants flooded into the United States, and their food was subjected to the same unhygienic or uncivilized labels as the people themselves. But as chop suey gained popularity, it marked a change in that image, and the immigrants were able to forge a new, respected Chinese American identity for themselves. Food, for me, has always been a way to connect with my identity and my culture. So a lot of immigrants continue to preserve their culture and resist assimilation by continuing to cook their traditional foods while also adapting to their own environments. So my family, for one, likes to buy these uncooked tortillas in bulk from Costco, and we heat them up in a wok, crack an egg on top, then we add meat floss, pre-made Chinese donuts, and hoisin sauce, as well as some freshly chopped scallions if we're feeling fancy, Frankensteining together this our version of jianbingguozi, a common street food breakfast in China that's usually made with fresh grapes. And while this may not be traditional, it certainly fits our lives here in America. Another thing that these hybrid dishes do is it lets the Chinese American people take control of the narrative in a history of exclusion and oppression. So usually in America, white people get to set the standard, and whiteness often is the standard, which means for Chinese food to feel authentic, it needs to deviate from that. One way this can appear is in America's tendency to monolith all of China into one culture, when in actuality, each region can have its own distinct history and flavors. The classic dish, dim sum dish of chicken feet is often named as an authentic Chinese dish, but it's a Cantonese style dish, so it's technically native to just that southeastern region of China. So while today it's one of my mom's favorite orders at dim sum, She's from Nanjing, so the first time she ever had just like a plate of steamed chicken feet was here in America. So it certainly isn't authentic to her experience with traditional food in China. So what might be authentic to one person is not necessarily authentic to another, even if they're of the same ethnic background. Another way the white definition of Chinese food can manifest as is in harmful stereotypes. I think we've all heard the saying that if the Chinese restaurant looks dingy, has rude service, and maybe has a kid in the back doing their math homework, it's going to be cheap, it's going to taste good, and it's going to be authentic. But no one, or rarely anyone, says anything about upscale or fine dining, as if it's not refined enough to be anything more. On the other hand, the Chinese American cuisine hasn't really been confined to certain constraints yet. It's a bit of an uncharted territory, so this lets Chinese Americans push it in any direction they'd like. Of course, Chinese people, like my parents, do have a pride in knowing what's truly traditional. My dad, for one, he'll point out when a restaurant marketed as Shanghainese cuisine will be serving a few Sichuan dishes. Or he refuses to spend over a certain amount on xiaolongbao because it's just supposed to be a snack from a street vendor. Or in my mom's case, she'll take over ordering when at Chinese restaurants with her friends and frown when someone asks to add sweet and sour to the order. And rightfully so. I think we can and should celebrate traditional dishes, but that does not mean we should discount American Chinese food just because it doesn't fit what my parents grew up eating in China. Cultures can evolve, and they're born as they coalesce to reflect the identities of people like me, American, but also Chinese. And most importantly, I think we can enjoy a dish while also recognizing the stories and history it often carries. And so, while today my mom says that the plate of sweet and sour Dave had practically begged for did not taste that great to her, it made him happy, and it opened up her mind towards Americanized Chinese food. So now, every other week or so, she heads over to her favorite Chinese American takeout place and orders a big box of sweet and sour sesame chicken. And yes, she does also like to get the maybe more traditional chicken feet or stewed beef with turnips. But I always have to fight with the other chopsticks, reaching for the crisp golden chicken drowning in sweet and sour before it disappears. Thank you.